Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Territorial Blockchain. Today we are with Paige, CEO of the Connector. How are you, Paige?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
The first question is what is the Connector? What's your work? In,
Yeah, so the connector is a self custody, multi chain, multi coin wallet that uses MPC, multi party computation infrastructure, and 3D facial biometrics. But we're also very, very feature packed in addition to being focused on security. And so, as it stands, we're more considered sort of a super app because we have so many features right now. So that's our one sentence preliminary understanding of the connector.
okay. Web3 adoption has been slow due to security risk and complex onboarding. How does the connector remove these barriers and make crypto truly accessible to everyday users?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now in the Web3 space, when it comes to wallets, it feels like security and convenience is often a trade off. Users, they want custody over their assets, yet they also want to be able to spend their digital assets in real life and, maybe go shopping or pay the bills. Yet they also want secure storage. And right now, cold storage or hardware wallets is what they're most known for, or firmware wallets, which is what I like to call them, are considered that sort of gold standard for this. Yet they come with a trade off, which is a seed phrase or a single point of failure. And transactions aren't as seamless because it's cold storage. So the connector is really here to balance that by offering this hot wallet convenience and sort of cold wallet, what we say, security. And so our onboarding is very, very seamless and feels more like a Web 2 experience. You need your email verification. You could even log in using popular social logins like Google, Facebook. Um, and the whole process, including the facial biometric scan and everything, is takes about 48 seconds is the average time. So you're in very, very quick, very seamlessly, and the recovery backup is extremely smooth, which is more appealing for beginners and to everyday users. Yet we have this bulletproof sort of security underneath and under the wires.
Okay. Many users still fear losing their private keys or getting hacked. How does the connector approach to security redefine self-custody while maintaining through decentralization?
Yeah, it's a good question. When it comes to security, I always tell users that they should ask themselves one question. Does the system have a single point of failure? And if it does, it's inherently by default less secure. And especially when compared to security systems that have a distributed infrastructure and multiple types of backups, it creates much, much more friction for bad actors and is more secure than this seed phrase. And this is made possible. The connector is able to offer this, and it's made possible by MPC, also called multi party computation. So we apply 3FA as a means of account recovery or backup. So, what happens, unlike multi sig wallets or hardware wallets or even hot wallets, any wallet on the market right now, the private key is split into three different shards, and those are all stored in a decentralized manner across several different locations. So in this circumstance, a bad actor would literally have to be in 3 different locations at one point in time, which we know is impossible. And so we have split the private key into 3 encrypted shards, each of which on its own is useless. So one is through the email verification. And, we even offer users a secondary email as well, because we value privacy so much. They don't even have to, put their name in the email or anything. The second way is through a encrypted file, which is stored on the user's iCloud drive or Google Cloud Drive, or even both for added security. And then the third one is the 3D facial biometrics. And this is much, much different than your Face ID unlock that would come with your iPhone. It's much more sophisticated and uses liveness detection to protect against AI spoofing. So in this way, if a user loses their device, they're switching from Apple to Android, then they can still recover their account. They'll be, if their email gets phished, they're still safe. The bad actor can't do anything with that encrypted shard. You need all 3 at once.
Okay. DeFi platform are plagued by fraud, phishing attacks, and scam, very scam. Your wallet introduced the first-ever biometric verified Web3 transaction. How does it work, and how can it help clean up the DeFi space?
Yeah. Yeah. So with AI, I mean, this problem is becoming more and more prevalent now more than ever. I mean, I think everyone has been the victim of asking themselves whether or not this is real or fake. How do I know that this person is who they actually say they are? And when it comes to Web3 wallets, the connector really sees wallets as more than just a place of storage for their digital assets. It's more than even that distribution layer. It's also the solution to this proof of ownership problem or this identity problem. And because we have this MPC coupled with 3D facial biometrics, essentially tying it uniquely to your DNA in a sense, we're able to mitigate these risks. So the 3D facial biometrics that we use is used by Fortune 500 companies. It has a 600K bounty that has never been cracked, and it's going to protect users against deepfakes and provides liveness detection, making it extremely resilient against bad actors and also convenient for the good actors who want that true utility aspect of their wallets.
Cross-chain swaps often involve high fees, long wait times, and complex process. How is the connector making cross-chain transaction seamless, fast, and cost efficient?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, our partner for this is XOSwap by Exodus Wallet, and we've worked with them to integrate aggregated cross-chain swaps. So essentially, we're drawing from 11 different sources of liquidity, so 11 different decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. So this solves that DeFi liquidity problem. And what that does from a UX perspective is it allows users to perform cross-chain swaps, especially on popular layer ones like Bitcoin to USDT in 5 minutes or less. And this way, we can also ensure that the users are getting the best fees for that time because they're drawing from so many different sources. So that's the benefit with this. On top of it, it's 1 or 2 click swaps, extremely seamless, and we even deduct the gas fee from the amount that you're receiving. So it's less complicated for users, and we provide this human readable transaction.
With plus more than 100 payment options available in almost 200 countries, the connector is bridging Web 2 and Web 3 finance. How do you see the future of crypto payments evolving, and where does the connector fit in?
Yeah, so the connector is built a little bit differently than most Web3 projects because we also have a research and development department. And through some of that research, our team found that users actually really don't care which ramps they're using. They just more care about fees and transaction success. So they want it to work for wherever they are in the world, whatever currency that they want to buy crypto in. And so with that in mind, instead of just integrating, 2 or 3 ramps like most wallets do, and the user has to decide which ramp they want, they get to the end of the KYC and the transaction, they realize, oh my God, it's not available in my country. They have to start all over, and it feels like a giant guessing game. With us, we actually aggregate across 23 plus on and off ramps. So almost all of them in the industry are integrated into one app. And what this allows is it allows for the user to type in the crypto they want to buy or withdraw, and then the app will aggregate and recommend the best ramp for you based on transaction size, based on fees, based on payment method, and based on where you're located. So this allows us, this is a really, really powerful method because it allows us to interact and be that bridge between Web3 and Web2. So users can cash out their crypto, and they can also buy crypto with their local fiat currency. This means that we also offer, right off the bat in our version 1, popular payment methods like Stripe, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Visa, MasterCard, Western Union, Yellow Card. And so we have a diverse payment methods for different user needs.
Mhm. Traditional financial institutions are slower in entering the Web3, but they struggle with compliance and infrastructure. How will the connector, upcoming B2B API and SDK, help fintechs, neobanks, and enterprise integrate Web3 effortlessly?
Yeah, so that's a good question. We are currently working on an API and SDK so that different businesses are able to integrate our application. Through our research, we find that merchants who accept cryptocurrency, their users have a propensity to spend twice as much and be much more loyal, so giving them this competitive edge. And often Web3 wallets in our space, especially self-custody ones, are very much focused on B2C, but we take a different approach and we go B2B2C. The primary reason that institutions and enterprises would want to partner with us is not only because of our security, although that's a huge driving force, and I already talked about that early on, but is actually our UI and UX. So I myself am an expert at the intersection of emerging tech, and I study the psychology of emerging tech, how it goes mainstream. And one of the biggest friction points in the Web3 space is this UI UX. The knowledge prerequisites are too high. We have a 90% fail rate for users who want to recover their assets. We have a 70% fail rate for new users opening an account for the first time. And so in this way, the connector has been very, very appealing, especially to those in TradFi, because it feels so familiar to them, much like a fintech would or a Web2 would. So that's one reason why the institutions are appealed to us.
You already secured a plus of 215 millions of real-world asset tokenization partnerships. How do you see real-world asset tokenization shaping the future of DeFi? And what role will the connector play in this movement?
Yeah, so that partnership was actually brought to us because that particular founder was experiencing the pain point of, okay, he's using real world assets in real estate, he's fractionalizing resorts in Costa Rica, but his users can't figure out how to actually buy the token. So there's this very much need for seamless onboarding experience, and that's where our UI comes in, that offers cognitive mapping, mental heuristics, and is very rigorously studied to appeal to the everyday user. So at the same time, RWAs align greatly with our mission to democratize access to financial tools versus just making investments available to the wealthy elite. So, by fractionalizing large assets, users can now participate in this area of investment, but at a global scale, and it will make for a more interconnected global economy. And so that's one reason why we're working a lot with RWA companies. That, and they also come from the TradFi space. So security is also very, very important to them. Over $200 billion has been lost due to seed phrase mismanagement. And humans make mistakes, and I personally would not feel comfortable or recommending to anyone that they store such a valuable asset on a piece of paper that can be smudged, that can be wrote down wrong, that can be misplaced. And so by replacing that with MPC and 3D facial biometrics, we're mitigating this single point of failure to allow for more valuable assets to move on chain in a more responsible and secure way without compromising the confusion aspect of it all.
Well, and that's all the time we have for today, Paige. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on Territorial Blockchain. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.